Yo, what's going on everybody? Today I want to talk about how my recovery from the LA Marathon is going, and I'm going to talk about the next Kofuzi Run Club meetup that's going to be in Washington, DC. 6.60 miles, 8 minutes, 55 seconds per mile, and 141 beats per minute today, going for a very nice and easy run, my first run after the LA Marathon. Now, normally, if I have a Sunday marathon, I'd like to get a couple of days of complete rest, and usually by Wednesday, I'm kind of itching to go for a little bit of a run again. Usually like to get just like 30 minutes of movement in, and that was originally the plan for this week. But it's been cold and rainy here, and that last marathon was quite a grueling one. And so by the time Wednesday hit, I thought, you know what, maybe not running, but maybe I'll hit the bike. But then it was also raining, and I'm not the most experienced cyclist, so I didn't want to be out there in wet conditions. So I thought, you know what, the universe is giving me all these signals that I should probably take another rest day. But it's not like I did just absolutely nothing as far as recovery goes. I didn't do any like foam rolling or the massage gun. I never really felt like I needed to do too much of that. And I have lots of stairs in the high-rise building that I live in, so when I felt like I could, I have been taking the stairs. And I've also been walking a lot. I normally walk a lot anyway, as I take the kids to and from school. But like just that amount of walking felt like enough for what I needed for at least those 2 or 3 first days after the marathon. So like walking just was really nice, and I definitely enjoyed doing that as well. But then we got to Thursday, and I felt like I was really ready to run. By Wednesday evening, I was like, oh, I wish I'd gone for a run today. And then by Thursday, I was definitely ready to run. So I went out there thinking maybe about 45 minutes and we'll see how I feel. But once I got out there, I just felt so good that I was like, we're going to definitely make it an hour today. So I went for the 6-mile run. Felt fantastic pretty much the entire time. The first like 2 miles were a little bit kind of like, ooh, is my heart rate elevated? Did I do too much too soon already? But then once I kind of like got into a rhythm, once the body got used to moving again, then everything started clicking, and it just felt really nice to be out there. The only main thing that I'm feeling is the pads in my feet are feeling a little bit tender, but ultimately erring in the side of caution. Doing less is going to be more prudent for me than doing more. Now, the hard thing about that, at least mentally for me, is that I already am signed up for another race in just 2 weeks. Actually, it's less than 2 weeks at this point. It's a little bit more than a week from now. It's going to be April 3rd, exactly 2 weeks after the LA Marathon. Now, it's not another marathon, that's for sure, but it's going to be the Cherry Blossom 10-miler in Washington, DC. This is a race that I've been wanting to run for a really long time. It's a historic race. It's constantly on people's lists of races that you must run. So I'm so happy to be able to go out there and get into that race. Plus, I've never been able to see the cherry blossoms in DC. Even though I've been to DC many times, I've never just been there at the right time of year to see those trees in bloom. So I'm really looking forward to that. It only happens like that one time of year. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And I'm going to be able to do a shakeout run while we're out there, and I've got some details finalized. Let's meet at the World War II Memorial. We'll do a big group photo there, and then we'll go for a run. I found a trail or a path, like a route for optimal cherry blossom viewing. And so I'm basically copying that route for the shakeout run. It's going to be about 2.7 miles, maybe a little bit less than that. And then we'll end right around at the Washington Monument, which is pretty close to the World War II Memorial. So we're kind of starting and ending in the same spot. By the time we're done, it should be time for the expo to be open. Well, the expo opens at 9. So you'll be able to head over to the expo, get your bib, and do all that kind of stuff as well. Or if you want to go grab a cup of coffee, I'll probably do a little bit of that too. So I'd love to see you guys out in the DC area if you're going to be running the race, or even if you're not. this will be a nice little tour of the cherry blossoms too. And everyone who is racing, you'll be getting a preview at least of some of the course. So I always feel like that's a good thing to be able to do before a race. So hopefully I will see you guys there. We are going to get a little bit of support from ASICS on this one as well. A lot of you guys had reached out to me about the t-shirts that we had screen printed at the Kofuzi Run Club in LA. There's still some t-shirts left. Now they had to be kind of like heat pressed, I think is the term for it. They get kind of stamped like in person at the Run Club. But so there isn't like a box of like the shirts already printed, but I think ASICS is going to print a handful of them out for us over the next week and a half, and they're going to bring some down to do as giveaways. And I think we might be able to give away a couple of pairs of shoes as well. So if coming for some shakeout miles isn't incentive enough, maybe you can grab a t-shirt and hopefully win a pair of shoes. So lots of reasons to come out. And if all of that isn't reason enough as well, I've been texting Thomas at Believe in the Run. I think he's going to come out too. They're going to be in town for the weekend as well, running the race, and Thomas is going to be showing up. So, you know, lots of reasons to show up. It'll be good to see Thomas again. I haven't seen him in a while now, so I'm looking forward to catching up and getting some miles in. Hopefully you guys can join us for that. So it's going to be an exciting weekend coming up soon. It makes me very excited to get out there and start training again and getting ready for another race. But first things first, I got to take care of recovering properly and making sure I'm not rushing too quickly back into things, because it's going to be a super fun spring and summer and fall of racing this year, and I don't want to miss any of it. So, you know, got to make sure I pace myself. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I will see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?